Woodman post-match, Bromley 4, Maidenhead United 1. Andy, prior to this match, Maidenhead came in 4 games unbeaten, no goals conceded in 3. Never mind, yes, some would say they don't score many, but they don't concede many. Would you say that win's been coming, given the form over the last 5 games?
I certainly feel we're a bit more confident as a group of players, and we're believing in what we're doing a little bit more. I wouldn't have said that before the game we'd get 4. But I always felt, and I made it clear to the lads, that if we can put this game to bed early doors and get the graft in early doors, we can make the day a lot easier for ourselves in these conditions. I didn't think we started particularly well first 20 minutes. I thought we was pretty poor, to be honest. And then when the drinks break come, it gave me a little chance to just sort of get around the guys, and they responded in the right way.
There's been a lot said about Sam Woods. You yourself have said he's come off an injury, but since he's come into the team, I know Cheeky got man of the match, but I thought Woods had an all-round game defensively in the box in terms of set pieces going forward. Do you think he kind of showed everyone exactly why you got him through the door this summer? Yeah, look,
Sam, I've known Sam since he was probably 16 years of age at Palace. Sam doesn't play for Plymouth in a squad at Plymouth and not be a good player. He's been unlucky with a couple of big injuries, and we've got him back from that. And he's done well, Sam. I'm chuffed. He's rolled his ankle a little bit, which we'll assess tomorrow. But I'm delighted for Sam. You wouldn't meet a more honest pro than Sam Woods, and the lads love him, and that sort of speaks volumes for him.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier on about starting slowly, and I agree with you. I think first 20 Maidenhead shaded it, you would say. What was the difference, though? Once Cheek got the opening goal, Maidenhead didn't really get a sniff again after that.
No, I felt we kind of played a little bit with a away team mentality of how we've been playing away from home a little bit. And we needed to get on the ball a little bit more and control the game with the ball at our feet, and we did that. And we took a few more risks in the right areas, and that's what you need to do: move the team around, and then at times keep the ball and make them chase after it. And we did that really well today. And I felt the game plan was the game plan, and the guys, once they got into it, they stuck to it. And the only disappointments that we conceded, which the boys look back on and think that's a sloppy goal. But overall, I thought it was good.
In the last week, you've brought 4 new faces into the club from various different areas: Arsenal, Preston. I remember the first club as well for Bristol Rovers. None of them are ever featured in the matchday squad to date. Why? Why were none in there? And is it more about you trying to just get initially that strength in depth, and obviously they'll come and play a part at some point?
That's a really good question. The truth of it is that one, the team's on the back of a few wins, so I have to respect the boys that are playing, and secondly, we got these boys from some good clubs, and we're thankful for that. And when we got their numbers through, and their running numbers and their higher speed running numbers, we know that there'd be risk for injury coming into the level of numbers we do, which might amaze people. So I sat with the boys and said, look, we need to get you up to a level of speed and a level of running, a level of sort of durability. Otherwise, you're going to be running the risk of getting injured. And they've brought into that. They've got no problem with that. They'll be chomping at the bit. We had an injury to one of them, which Ryan Jones broke his arm yesterday in training, which was a blow, because he's a real talent. And that's why we have to have all these players. We're going to pick up injuries, and if I've learnt one thing since I've been at this football club, you need players, to sustain any sort of level of performance. And that's what I wasn't going to risk that this year. I wasn't going to go down to the bare bones, even though I haven't got a particularly big budget. Then I've had to call in favours everywhere to make sure that we've got bodies in the door to fill in, and we've got good bodies.
Out of interest, in terms of your kind of managerial philosophy, if you want to call it that, today's game, I counted at the end of the game, there were 6 players, 23 or 22 and under, that ended the game. 2 teenagers, if you count Ben and Chin, let's say they're teenagers. Todd's only 20, etc. You've just got 4 in. Kirk is 20. Kiddo, I think, is 19, maybe 20. Ryan is 19. I'm missing so much off the top of my head. But the point is your philosophy that if they're good enough, they're good enough? Or is it that you like to go for talented young players? Is there a certain philosophy behind it? Or you're just looking at talent first and foremost?
The philosophy for me, if I want to be really honest, is if they're good enough, they play. And I want to have a team with legs and energy. And with respect, your team with legs and energy is going to generally be quite young. So then I've got to put trust in the young players. It does help when you've got some experienced campaigners around them as well to keep them grounded, make sure they're trained properly, do the right things. So it is a mix. But my philosophy is, look, these kids have got to start somewhere. And I won't always get it right. I've proven that. There's been one or two that haven't quite worked out. But I think overall, we've got it right. And I'm going to keep playing these young players. And I think now, it's kind of you to say that, but the reputation I've got, this summer is everyone's offering me their young players. It's great on one breath, but I can't take them all. So that tells me that people are now trusting me with their young players, which is great.
And of course, we saw today, Kellen Fisher came back to the ground today, massive reception from the fans in respect with what he did at the club, already in the Norwich first team. Be honest with me, when Norwich got him, did you think he'd be in their first team squad even as quick as he's done it?
Yeah.
All right.
I generally did. I generally did. I make no bones about that. I actually spoke to Tim Krul when he was there, and I said, you got a kid coming from us. I said, let me tell you, don't let looks be deceiving. He's a proper player. And then when I was getting the videos of the manager, what he was saying about in pre-season, he was just confirming what I already knew. This boy is going to go to the top. Look, I've been lucky enough to work with some top players, so I know what's required. And he's definitely going to be a Premiership star.
And that leads me nicely to end it by just talking about Ben Crowhouse, who I thought was, again, excellent today. And the only reason I bring up Ben today is because today I was watching the defensive side of his game, and I think, and I'm guilty of this, I think it's easy to pigeonhole Ben as an attacking, creative player, but actually, I mean, I am not privy to his numbers, but his defensive game is actually very good as well, and I guess it's just further evidence to what you've been saying about the talent he possesses.
Ben Krause, I kid you not, he's Emile Smith-Rowe. I kid you not. He reminds me of a young Emile Smith-Rowe that could run with the ball. I tell you, once Ben starts adding goals to his game, like he should have at the end there, where he was playing for the team, I get that, and I'm all for that. If he adds goals to his game, which he will do in time, people will start sitting up and listening and say, Andy Woodman actually knows what he's talking about. Because I'm telling you, he's that good. He's that good. And the tackling side of his game, I never thought he had that. And he surprised me with that, so that's a bonus. But he's going to be a really good player.
Cheers, Andy. Much appreciated.